Emotional availability means someone can be present with feelings, not just physically present in the room. Mechanically, they can notice emotions, express care, listen without escaping, and respond with consistency. For example, a partner staying engaged when you share disappointment instead of changing the subject. That is why availability is measured in emotional contact. It is not the same as constant availability. The process works because a person can need rest, privacy, and boundaries while still being emotionally reliable. A simple example is saying I am exhausted tonight, but I want to talk tomorrow morning. The practical lesson is that healthy availability includes honest limits. Emotionally unavailable people may still be kind. The hidden lever is that they can provide money, help, humor, or problem solving while avoiding vulnerable emotional exchange. A realistic case is fixing your car after an argument but never discussing why the argument hurt. The viewer should remember that practical support does not always equal emotional intimacy. Availability has a listening component. The moving part is this. The listener does not immediately defend, minimize, advise, or compete with the feeling. One ordinary version is responding to I felt lonely with tell me more instead of you are too sensitive. Once you see that, listening makes emotion feel safe enough to continue. It also has an expression component. What changes the outcome is that the available person can share their own feelings in understandable ways instead of hiding behind silence. Think of saying I felt embarrassed and pulled away, rather than pretending nothing happened. That small detail changes the decision because self-disclosure helps the other person know where they stand. Consistency is what makes availability believable. In real life, a person who is warm one day and unreachable the next creates confusion. Picture weekend affection followed by weekday emotional disappearance. This matters because reliability matters more than occasional intensity. Emotional availability can be blocked by overwhelm. Under the surface, some people shut down because feelings exceed their coping capacity, not because they do not care. This shows up when a partner going numb during conflict after growing up in a home where emotions exploded. So the useful takeaway is that the cause may explain the behavior, but it does not remove the need for repair. Avoidance can look like independence. The practical engine is simple. Someone may say they do not need deep talks, but the real issue is discomfort with vulnerability. You can see it when joking whenever the relationship becomes serious. The result is that humor can connect or it can dodge. Anxious behavior can also reduce availability. Mechanically, when fear takes over, a person may be too panicked to truly hear the other side. For example, asking for reassurance repeatedly while ignoring the partner's exhaustion. That is why availability requires regulating enough to listen. Emotional availability is tested during disappointment. The process works because easy closeness during fun moments does not prove much if the person disappears during hurt. A simple example is a partner being affectionate on dates but cold whenever accountability is needed. The practical lesson is that availability must include hard conversations. Repair is a strong sign of availability. The hidden lever is that available people can return after conflict, acknowledge impact, and try to understand. A realistic case is saying I see why my silence scared you, I should have told you I needed time. The viewer should remember that repair shows the relationship matters more than pride. Emotional availability grows through skills. The moving part is this. Naming feelings, tolerating discomfort, asking questions, and slowing reactions can be learned. One ordinary version is someone replacing I am fine with I am hurt and need a minute to explain. Once you see that, availability is not only personality, it is practice. Past relationships shape availability. What changes the outcome is that betrayal, neglect, criticism, or enmeshment can teach people that openness is unsafe. Think of someone hiding needs because earlier partners used needs against them. That small detail changes the decision because defenses may be old protections brought into new relationships. A relationship cannot thrive on potential alone. In real life, someone may be capable of depth someday but unavailable in the present. Picture waiting years for a partner who promises to open up but never changes behavior. This matters because current pattern matters more than imagined future. You can invite availability but not force it. Under the surface, clear requests, safe tone, and patience may help, but the other person must choose participation. This shows up when asking, "Can we talk about what happened last night?" without blame, and watching whether they engage. So the useful takeaway is that availability requires willingness from both sides. Signs of availability include curiosity, follow-up, accountability, and emotional memory. The practical engine is simple. The person remembers what matters to you and checks in after hard moments. You can see it when asking how your meeting went after knowing you were anxious about it. The result is that small follow-through makes care feel real. A practical test is how you feel after sharing. Mechanically, do you feel clearer, closer, and respected, or smaller, foolish, and alone? For example, telling someone about grief and leaving the conversation comforted rather than embarrassed. That is why your body often knows whether emotional contact happened. Emotional availability works through presence, honesty, consistency, and repair. The process works because it is not about perfect words or endless access. A simple example is a partner who cannot solve your pain but can sit with you and respond truthfully. The practical lesson is that the heart of availability is being reachable emotionally when it matters. Emotional availability means a person can notice emotions, express them honestly, and respond to another person's feelings without instantly escaping, attacking, or dismissing. It is not constant deep conversation. It is the ability to stay reachable when emotions matter. Someone can be loving in practical ways and still be emotionally unavailable during vulnerable moments. A common example is conflict. An emotionally available person may need a pause, but they can return and talk. An unavailable person may vanish, mock the emotion, change the subject, or make the other person feel needy for having feelings. The issue is not needing space. The issue is whether connection is repaired after space. Emotional availability also includes receiving good feelings. Some people can handle crisis but become uncomfortable with affection, gratitude, or closeness. They may joke, deflect, or minimize the moment. Availability means being able to let positive and painful emotions exist without immediately shutting the door on them. The practical test is consistency under emotion. Can this person talk after tension? Can they hear impact without collapsing into blame? Can they show care without making vulnerability feel embarrassing? Emotional availability is not a personality performance. It is a relationship capacity built through presence, honesty, repair, and respect for both people's nervous systems. You can also look for emotional availability in small moments. Does the person follow up after a hard talk? Can they apologize without turning it into a courtroom? Do they ask what you felt, not only what happened? These small signals matter because emotional safety is built in ordinary responses long before a major crisis tests the relationship.